Стиан Карстенсен, Филип Симеонов Феката, Farmers Market на 5 в Пловдив, на 6 в София в Mixtape 5. Няколко въпроса. So I should ask you first about your dядо.
My dядо, yes. He was a special man. When he was very small, he made a gun. And by accident he shot his eye out when he was hunting for ducks. And after that he was very bored because he had to stay very still for a long time. So his father gave him an accordion. So he started to play accordion. And he played in weddings, for dancing and stuff like that. And he listened to the radio and he liked very much music from Eastern Europe, gypsy music. So when I was small, he showed me some gypsy music, and my father also likes that kind of music. So I am actually 5th generation accordion player on my father's side and 4th generation on my mother's side. So I didn't really have a choice when I was a kid, They just gave me accordion and said, play. So after 2 weeks, you play in the wedding together with me. That was my father told me. And then we played traditional stuff, from Norway, like this. Melody, and we played this in weddings and also like these kinds of music, And so I grew up playing in a folk music setting with weddings and with a lot of older people who taught me how to play these violin players and accordion players. But when I got older, I wanted to have more kind of challenge, So then when I heard this Bulgarian music, I thought this is impossible to play on the accordion. I have to try to learn this. So when I heard it, after 2 weeks, I bought a ticket. I went to Sofia and traveled around here in Pernik and different small villages to see and hear music. I heard Gaida for the first time and Kaval, Kaduk, all these instruments. And I bought in one shop in Sofia. I bought records, like so many records, Balkan. So I have at home all recordings from 60s, 70s, Stoyan Velichkov, Kostadin Farimetso, Philip Kutev Ensemble, all these things which I've been listening to for 25 years. So it changed my life actually to hear Bulgarian music. That was like a bomba.
Yeah. Сега ще питам господин Феката, Филип Симеонов. Понеже ние се запознахме по много странен начин в Истанбул, не в София. Свирите ли още с Тарав Дохойдукс, просто защото тогава не сме се виждали преди 7-8 години?
Да.
А иначе, къде може да ви чуе човек в последно време? Понеже аз не знаех, че вече сте части от Farmers Market. От кога това?
Аз работя с Farmers Market.
Основно с тях.
Но хода и с Тарав Дохойдукс, когато ме викат, имаме концерт. Но по принцип работя с Farmers Market.
Така, как се запознахте с него и как стана цялата работа?
С Стиан се запознахме в 1997 година. Той ме е чул и ме покани да отида на един концерт в Норвегия. И много си допаднахме аз. По принцип, с него свира толкова спокойно, съм сигурно, някаква телепатия има между нас двамата. Като свирим, имам чувство, че без да си кажем какво ще стане, го правим с инструментите. С инструментите се говорим.
Това е, мисля, че най-важният език. So, I would like to ask you about the significant collaborations in your work. You mentioned Michael Brecker and that his kaval was actually a gift from you.
Yes, that's right.
So, tell me the story.
In 2003 or 4, we got a call from his manager and said that Michael Brecker wanted to play with the Farmers Market because he actually Jarle, our drummer, he gave a CD to Jeff Tain Watts, a festival and said, "This is our CD. You should listen to it," you know. And that's you do that sometimes, but you never expect people to listen to those things because they probably get thousands of CDs from different people, you know. But anyway, the drummer that played with Brecker, he listened to this CD and he said to Michael, "You have to check this CD out because this is something different." And then we got a call from his manager, and we had a concert with Michael Brecker in Norway, and he was totally into Bulgarian music, absolutely crazy about it. And so we had another gig 1 year later, and then I had this kaval maker from Stralja to make kaval with his name on it, like a inscription. And I gave this to Michael Brecker, and he because he loved the kaval very much, so he learned actually to play the kaval. And he used it on the record with Iván Ivanov and David Lehman. So he learned to play this instrument by himself, and he also went to New York to take lessons with a Bulgarian violin player who was living in New York at that time, played folk music. So after 1 year, you could hear that he played Bulgarian music much better because he practiced it, you know. And it's to us, we couldn't believe it that a guy I started to listen to in 1988 suddenly liked our music, and that was very nice. And but then he got sick. Sadly, he got very sick. I was in New York to make practice with Michael Brecker because I was going to play on his new solo record. But then he got trouble with his back, and then he had this bone marrow cancer thing, and it all ended very bad. He died. So. But I'm glad that we met him, that we played with him, and he was a great musician, and it was a mind-blowing experience for us to play with such an amazing musician and a creator of saxophone style that so many people tries to copy and likes him.
So the next one is Mike Patton, of course,
Yes.
because he's also into Balkan music. I listened to him
Yes.
once with Fate No More with a specific Balkan song.
You know, Mike is very much into these kinds of music. Also the bass player, Bill in Faith No More. We had a dinner with him last time I was in San Francisco, and he told me that he has a radio show in America who only plays Bulgarian and Macedonian music. It's crazy, you know, these guys are just mad about this kind of music. So actually in the interview in a Norwegian newspaper, he wrote, "Just anyone knows Stian Karstensen because I want to get in touch with him. Please give me his contact details, for fuck's sake," he said. And then one guy gave him my email address, and then I got like 4 pages email from Mike Patton, where he said that he listened so much to my Farmers Market, and they were inspired by that in the band Mr. Bungle. And a lot of people told me that, "Well, you sound a little bit like Mr. Bungle." I said, "I actually never heard that band." So that's the explanation, which is crazy, you know. And then we made this record on his label, Ipecac. And Ipecac is, it means if you have problems with, if you swallow something that's poisonous, you take Ipecac because it makes you throw up. So he's a special character, this guy. But anyway, we made this record on his label, and then I worked a little bit with him when we did duo concerts, and he's also going to sing on my new solo album. So, and also we went fishing for Stuka pike together because he likes fishing in my hometown. So we have some common interests.
Okay, I've got a question for you, and it goes like that. What is Bulgarian music, precisely? What is this?
What is Bulgarian music?
Yeah.
Well, it's impossible to answer that in a like 100% correct way because the Bulgarian music, it's so much, and compared to other countries, it has so many things. It has this incredible rhythmical world which we have only in Bulgaria, and then you have the harmonies and the ornaments, and it's just a very strange mix of everything that I like very much, and also has a lot of improvisation, which is not so common in folk music, except for India maybe, but Bulgaria, so much improvisation in the music, which I love. So to me, it's like complete. It has everything that I need. So what can I say? And also it's the emotional aspect of this, because when I heard the Bulgarian singers, this choir, Le Mystère, they were traveling a lot and singing. And when I heard this choir, I just started to cry. I didn't know why. It was something happened, you know. It's so much stronger than stupid pop music. It's just because it's it has strong, very old traditions, which probably comes from different places, since Bulgaria has been such a melting pot and people have been traveling through here and lots of different kinds of people met. And also I have to say that it's amazing that you could keep the culture for these 500 years under the Ottoman Empire and still have Bulgarian language, culture, music. To me this is quite amazing. That means Bulgarian people are very stubborn, strong people, because in Norway we kind of lost our traditions 150 years ago. We have them, but they're not used in a normal environment. Like if you go to a wedding here, there is Bulgarian music. If you go in Norway, there's probably some rock band or some bad cheesy pop orchestra playing. So I like the fact that your culture is still alive. In Norway, I'm sad to say, but it's half dead. Yeah.
Okay.
Long answer, sorry about that.
The very last one, because probably the car is waiting. You have on this concert in Sofia the two greatest clarinetists on one stage, Philip Simeonov and Ivo Popazov.
Sure.
Very different one from another, and huge, very huge. So probably it's a big challenge to have them in one band in one evening.
Yeah, but you know, it's music, it's not sport, so we will try to make good music. And also it's like if you have two good fighters, they will enjoy the fight. So if there will be a fight, I think there will be an enjoyable musical fight.
But also I'm asking because, for example, the Bulgarian voices that you've heard are well known in Bulgaria for the fact that these songs have been westernized, adapted to the European scale.
Yes.
And they're beautiful, but you cannot say that they're exactly authentic. You know?
No, but you know, the thing is that I know exactly what you mean, because in the 50s, Philip Kotter made arrangements, and it was influenced by Western classical music, but at the same time, nothing else in the world sounds like it. So I think it's like a developed version of Bulgarian folk music, but also you can hear them singing, two girls singing a very old Shopsky song, for example, and that is totally authentic. But anyway, if it's not 500 years old, all these arrangements, it still sounds very personal and Bulgarian. I mean, you can hear that this is from Bulgaria. So, but I know I also have a collection of the really old recordings that Bela Bartok did in 1915 and 20. Like really old music, which is untouched by, it's totally clean, very Bulgarian. So I like all these things, you know, all the modern things, the old things. I like things that has so.
Wait a minute, Bela Bartok did Bulgarian.
He recorded
Bulgarian
in a wax rolls in the early 1915. He went to Bulgaria and he recorded singers, players, and
Whoa.
yes. And when you hear these things, then you hear what's the root of the music. It's really authentic.
Can you imagine that this is one thing most Bulgarians don't know about? I haven't heard about it any time before.
Okay, well,
ever. Did you know that?
No.
He did that because he got this machine and he went in Transylvania, Romania, and he came to Bulgaria and recorded music because he knew that this music has to be documented because it's very special.
Okay, the last documentation, very short one, or
Short one? Play something?
Going outside of the conversation with music.
Yeah, should I play something?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's play. Let me think.